The original problem is here at the top, and because we need a common denominator, I factored my first denominator and realized that the second one also has an x plus 3 in it, but the second fraction does not have an x plus 2, so multiplying the x plus 2 into that denominator also requires me to multiply it into the numerator. This fraction that I multiplied by is equal to 1, that's why I'm allowed to do that. As we talked about in class, a fraction times a fraction can be written all as one fraction, which is what we have here. And notice that this fraction and the first fraction now have the same denominator. Since they have the same denominator, we can do the subtraction in the numerator. Notice the numerators are being subtracted, all divided by their common denominator. Inside these parentheses, I did the multiplication, the foiling, in this numerator, but notice the result of foiling is inside parentheses to the right of that subtraction symbol. I combined like terms in those parentheses, and then I distributed this minus sign to get us down to this step. So all the signs of everything inside these parentheses changed as a result of distributing the minus, or the negative. Then I combined like terms to get over to here, but notice that the x squared term is negative. It's okay to have a negative there, but stylistically, some people don't like it. So since we're working with a fraction, we're going to factor that negative sign out of all three terms to get to this step. And notice that if we multiplied or distributed that negative sign to all three of these terms, it would take us back up to the previous step. When you're working with a fraction that has a negative in the numerator, the negative can appear here next to the entire numerator, wrapped in parentheses, or that same negative sign can go to the left of the fraction bar, which is how the final answer was written in the solution that you sent me. Honestly, we could take this negative sign and put it down here in the denominator to the left of both of those sets of parentheses. Remember all the while that this negative sign is really multiplication by negative 1. So multiplying by the negative 1 on the top or the bottom has the same effect. And putting the negative sign to the left of the fraction, right in the middle of it, is not telling us to multiply the top and the bottom by negative 1, but really one or the other. Seems strange to have that option, but that's what it means. We have the option. So we took it out of the numerator and put it next to the fraction. I hope that helps.